Hello, this is Sherlock, and today we are going to be taking a look at Idol Mari, Sakurako and Mine. Idol Mari is a striker healer with deployment position in the middle. She deals explosive damage and has heavy armor. Her EX skill costs 2, healing herself and one other ally. She gets a fan service stack, and any excess healing will be transformed into overheal HP. This extra HP cannot exceed 50% of her maximum HP and the target ally maximum HP. Her normal skill activates every 30 seconds, healing the ally with the lowest HP. Her passive skill provides her with 25.6% healing. Her sub-skill increases her HP, and every time she gets 3 fan service stacks, she will discount the EX cost of all allies by 1 excluding herself. This discount will work for 1 activation. Mari's kit is fairly simple, with a cheap EX, a fast enough normal skill, and a sub-skill that will grant us discounts every time she uses her EX skill 3 times. Not only that, but her passive skill grants additional healing, which will work great with her normal and EX skill. And her survivability is actually fairly good because of her sub-skill grants her almost as much HP as a passive HP skill would grant, being only 1.1% lower. When it comes to her uses, Mari is the first character that introduces the overheal mechanic, and while the rest of her kit is similar to that of Kokona, Mari has seen increasing use over time, and while she's not the way to go healer everywhere, she's slowly but surely becoming more popular. Now let's take a look at some of the content she has been finding use at. Starting with Gebura, this is a new raid that will release shortly after the 4th anniversary. This raid has a mechanic in which healing matters a lot. Her ability to overheal makes dealing with this mechanic quite a bit easier. And Mari, thanks to her ability to overheal and provide discounts, found 100% use rate in the top 60 teams, and I'm pretty sure well beyond that too. More recently, she has found a lot of success in Kurokage. In particular, when it comes to lunatic difficulty, her ability to heal one ally and herself and dealing with erosion is pretty handy, especially when she also offers discounts. However, she needs to be paired with other characters that can self-heal, because she cannot manage the HP of 4 characters. So, people has been using her together with Mine and Reisa, 2 characters that do not only offer good debuffs but can also heal themselves, making managing erosion a lot easier. Previous to Gebura and Kurokage, Mari saw most if not all of her use at Chokma, a new limit break battle that is soon to be released. Her armor makes her resistant to the boss damage, and her ability to offer discounts makes our rotations smoother and opens a possibility during the damage windows to deal even more damage. When it comes to PvP, I have never seen her, and I do not expect that to change. Striker healers are not popular in PvP, as the meta is to KO the enemy team before they KO us. When it comes to more broad usage, you can place her in your lobby if you want to congratulate her after her show. Otherwise, you can use her in JFDs, in which healing matters. Now, how good is Idol Mari? Well, she is very good. She offers a strong healing, overheal, discounts, her armor type makes her resistant to the damage of the bosses where healing matters, and while her discount can be forced to trigger like you can do with Kokona, they are still pretty easy to get, thanks to her cheap EX cost that also makes it easy to fit into the rotation. Should you pull for her? I would say yes. If you're a new player and you don't have Kokona, you will get a lot of value out of her. If you're a veteran player and you have Kokona, you will still get a lot of value out of Mari. She's good in Chokma, she's good in Gebura, and she's also good in Kurokage, 3 places in which we do not use Kokona. Overall, whether you're a veteran or a new player, Mari is a well-rounded healer that also offers discounts to excel your rotations. She's limited, so this may be your only chance to get her until she gets a rerun. In conclusion, Idol Mari is an explosive striker healer that brings the new mechanic overheal and also discounts. She has gained popularity over time, which was to be expected, as Kokona, who works in a similar fashion, is very popular. If I had to give her a score, I would say she's about a 10 out of 10 for Gebura, a 9 out of 10 for Kurokage, a 9 out of 10 for Chokma, and a 9 out of 10 overall. Now let's talk about Idol Sakurako. She's a striker support that positions in the middle, deals explosive damage and has heavy armor. Her EX costs 3, increases her own and ally special students' critical rate and critical damage. Her normal skill triggers every 35 seconds, increasing her attack and attack speed. Her passive grants her additional attack. Her sub increases the critical damage of herself and ally special students. Sakurako has a very unique kit, with a cheap EX that offers very strong buffs for our specials, a normal skill that is on a short cooldown but offers her 2 stats that she will not be using much. Her passive is also not very good, offering her additional attack, which really doesn't matter for her. Her sub-skill is currently the only sub-skill that offers critical damage for our specials, and therefore it's very strong. When it comes to her uses, Sakurako is currently the only character that can offer crit rate and crit damage for our specials, making her the striker equivalent of Ako. However, this currently only matters in Gebura, which is the only raid in which specials take the role of DPS and strikers are relegated to supports. Indeed, Sakurako saw 100% use rate in the top 60, and again, I'm pretty sure well beyond that too. This makes Sakurako pretty hard to evaluate, to be honest. On one hand, there is no one that can do the same that she does. On the other hand, it only matters in one raid. Sakurako has a very specialized kit, but it has a few issues. Her sub-skill and EX skill provide very valuable buffs, but her normal and passive are virtually blank. Because her own damage output is fairly low, boosting it doesn't really matter, and considering the rules of Gebura, it matters even less. Let's take a look at Gebura to fully understand what's going on. Gebura has a passive skill with the following effects: decrease damage dealt by striker students, tactical support vehicles, and summons by 75%, and increase damage dealt by special students by 80%. With this in mind, Sakurako's damage output does not matter at all, and considering this is where she finds most, if not all, of her use, her normal and passive skills are virtually as good as blank. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Sherlock, what about Gregorius? Well, as far as I'm concerned, in the latest iterations of Gregorius, both Total Assault and Grand Assault, she saw about 0 use. Dresgina comps still dominate the Torment, and because Lunatic difficulty has not been available for Gregorius, it's hard to say if she will find her way into the teams. I think it's likely, especially with an increasing number of teams, but on the other hand, we don't know what kind of broken comps will be figured out. Now, Dresgina already has some survivability issues in Torment, so Lunatic difficulty could make it so specials take a more important role in Gregorius, but that remains to be seen. How good is Idol Sakurako? I think she's good, but currently she's very niche, having only one real use being Gebura. There is no one that can replace her, and probably not having her will spell disaster, especially at higher difficulties, being Insane and above. And Gebura, even in Insane, is already pretty hard. However, before and after Gebura, she will be probably just dancing in your cafe. Should you pull for her? I want to say yes, and that's for a couple reasons. First is, I'm afraid that she ends up like New Year Fuka, being limited and the only character that can do that thing that she does. At the same time, Fuka is good everywhere, while Sakurako has currently one use. So, if you want to do well in Gebura, you should pull for Sakurako, otherwise you are mostly safe skipping her. But again, there is no one else that can provide crit damage and crit rate for our specials, so keep that in mind when you make your decision. In conclusion, Idol Sakurako is an explosive striker support that provides critical rate and damage for our specials. She is currently the only student with the ability to do so, and she is limited, meaning that for any future content with a focus on specials, having her is virtually a must. However, currently there is only one place in which specials take the main DPS role, that being Gebura. If I had to give her a score, I would say she's about a Gebura out of 10 and a Gamble out of 10. I know it's not very conclusive, but she is such a unique and weird character that it's hard to have a definitive answer, because on one hand, yeah, she's a must for Gebura, and on the other hand, there is a chance that more content for her will come, but there is also a chance that that never happens, so it's a gamble. Finally, let's talk about the event-free student, Idol Mine. She's a striker tank with deployment in the front. She has heavy armor and deals explosive damage. Her EX costs 3, moving herself and other strikers to a specified location, granting herself and those allies a buff, and she will get 5 pen lights. Her normal skill triggers every 30 seconds, consuming multiples of 10 pen lights. When it triggers, it will deal damage and apply a debuff to the enemy attack depending on the number of pen lights consumed. Her passive increases her HP, and her sub-skill grants her pen lights equal to the amount of cost consumed when allies activate their EX skills. Mine can have up to 30 pen lights stacks at a time. Whenever 10 pen lights are acquired, her defense will increase for 20 seconds. This effect will not stack. Mine's kit is pretty good, with a GPX that repositions her and allies, offering buffs to herself and them. Her normal skill is on a fairly short cooldown, and the debuffs it offers is pretty good because increases our survivability. The damage dealt it's not that good, but it's there. Her passive skill increases her HP, which is great, she's a tank, she needs to be alive, and her sub skill helps stack the pen lights so we reach 30 pen lights more consistently, and therefore we get the max benefit of her debuff when the normal skill triggers. And the additional defense is also really good because it will keep her alive for longer. When it comes to her uses, Idol Mine is a free event character, and she has seen most, if not all of her use at Gebura. This is thanks to her ability to move our characters, her armor which makes her resistant to the boss damage, and her debuff which helps us stay alive. She has attained the status of meta in Gebura, which is pretty impressive, especially for a free character. She has seen 100% use rate in the top 60 teams, and pretty sure way beyond that too. I'm glad to see a free character reach the meta status, to be honest, even if it's only for one raid. When it comes to PvP, I have never seen her, and that probably will not change. Moving our strikers means that they are not attacking, and that means we lose. And when it comes to a more broad usage, I think you can have her in your lobby if you want to help her calm down and relax, but she has seen use anywhere as far as I'm concerned. How good is Idol Mine? She's very good, especially for a freebie. While she's not the first freebie that finds her way into the meta, Idol Mine is probably the only freebie that is actually the best at her role. Should you invest on her? I would say yes, but take your time. Between now and Gebura, there are plenty of other characters that will come, and you may need the resources for them. However, use this event to farm her fragments as much as you can, and slowly but surely work on her, because she is really good in Gebura, and you will want to have her at least 5 stars. In conclusion, Idol Mine is a explosive striker tank that offers reposition, buffs and debuffs. She has reached the meta status in Gebura, and while she remains niche, she's the best tank at her niche. If I had to give her a score, I would say she's a 10 out of 10 freebie, and you should farm her as much as you can. Now it's discussion time. I've been asked many times, who should I pick if I can only pick one? And my answer has always been, and would still be, pick Sakurako. She's more unique, there is no other character that can do what she does, and while she may find less use than Mari, she currently is in the same position that New Year Fuka is, being that no one else can do what she does and she's limited. On the other hand, Mari is strong, and she has more use than Sakurako. But again, Sakurako is more unique, and because they are both limited, and if you don't have a preference, I think you should be picking Sakurako. However, if you're a new player, you're probably better off picking Mari, especially if you don't have Kokona. But if you're a veteran and you have Kokona, you're probably better off picking Sakurako. Now, honestly, I will pick up both, and that's what I would generally recommend to do. All three idols saw 100% use in Gebura, and that's for a reason. Mari provides the perfect amount of healing at a low cost, while her sub gives us discounts every 3 activations, which helps our rotations. Sakurako offers very strong buffs that are unique to her and probably make up for a big part of our DPS. Mine provides reposition for a low cost and a debuff with a low downtime. All three of them allows us to support our specials while keeping the cost low so we can maximize the damage and survival. While there is still plenty of discussion to be had considering reruns, other key characters for Gebura and the 4th anniversary, I don't want to make this video even longer than already is, so feel free to join us every Saturday and Sunday at 4 PM to 6 PM GMT +2. I always try to answer all of your questions and provide some more insight, so whether we are playing BA or another game, feel free to ask. BA discussion is always welcome. But that's all for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it and it was helpful. Let me know in the comments your thoughts, questions and opinions about these characters and what your pulling plans are. Thanks for watching and I wish you all a great day. If you want to support me, consider subscribing, or if you want to support me further, consider becoming a member for €2 a month or leaving a super thanks. I would truly appreciate it.